All right, guys, I want to pose a question to you here today, guys, and it's going to be based on this video that I have in the background here. This is Tana's video where he talked about a rumor potentially that we're going to be getting another year-long saga theory, potentially for Illuminati, and could be bringing in Professor X into Marvel Strike Force. But I want to ask a question. If we are truly getting another year-long saga, guys, can Marvel Strike Force survive this, right? That's the ultimate question that I currently have right now, and I want you guys to help me to answer that question here. I do want to say, like, out of the gate, as it pertains to the year-long saga, let's recap, right? The Apocalypse thing, although we haven't gotten Apocalypse yet, so I guess there's nothing to fully recap, but let's recap the year of last year if you want to talk about it, right? I mean, overall, I think the thing about Apocalypse was slightly exciting, was it not, right? Like, in theory, like the initial thought of you're bringing in Apocalypse, you're bringing in the Horsemen, man, it was a really sexy idea, right? And the fact that they put a little bit of a different spin on it, right? They're bringing in Morgan Le Fay, like we're bringing in characters that are Horsemen and making them Horsemen that are not Horsemen from the comics. I kind of liked it a little bit. It brought it a little bit more flavor to it. I like the fact that Rogue became a Horseman. I like that Red Hulk became a horror. Like, I liked some really cool, that they went some really cool directions here as it pertains to that. The Scourge events were very interesting. The Scourges that you could add to these events were very interesting and brought on some different challenges and things of that nature. However, I do want to say that as we kind of are looking at the Horsemen, the saga, Apocalypse, all that right now, if you take a look at the numbers over the past each individual Scourge event, and I don't have them directly up in front of me here, but I want to pull up the Horsemen so we can talk about it from that perspective. I remember when Morgan Le Fay's Scourge event went live, and when we looked at the numbers towards the very end of it, I think we saw numbers that were probably like what? There was like 300,000+ players that participated in that Morgan Le Fay event. And I remember when Rogue's event went live the next time, for the first participation time, the numbers were lower. I think by about 50K or 30K, they were lower. And then it kind of followed the same suit with Red Hulks, and definitely followed the same suit here with Archangel. Archangel's was really messy though, because Archangel had the minion requirements, and that was just ew, right? Without to think about that, like Archangel, you had to grab minion characters or build them up, and this is really for the super competitive players, right? But even across the board, there were players who didn't ever invest into minions that had to invest into minions. So the Archangel one definitely felt kind of bad overall when it pertains to this event. So across the board, you could see that players just lost interest in participating in these Scourge events for these different characters. And I kind of just kept on asking myself, like, why was that the case? And I think it had a lot to do with maybe just it's taxing, right? Think about it. Like, it's not just the fact that you have to build these Horseman characters and then the Horseman teams in order to be able to get Apocalypse. You also have to build out these Scourge teams, right, in order to be able to get them as well. So for Morgan, if you really wanted to try hard Morgan's Scourge event, you had to build out your Web Warriors and also have to build out your Dark Hunters team, right, just to be able to have a 2-team option. Also, Web Warriors going to do great in that Scourge event, so you kind of needed a little bit of a backup with the Dark Hunters team as well. You had, for Rogue, Young Avengers were amazing, but you kind of needed a little bit of a sack on both of the nodes in order for it to go as smoothly as you desired. In a certain instances, you probably built all 3 teams that were required, right, or needed for Node 5 and Node 10, Inhumans, A-Force, and then also Young Avengers, with Young Avengers, of course, being the far superior team. And then it followed the same, suit going on and down the line here all the way up until Archangel. And then we now have Apocalypse that is coming into Marvel Strike Force, and it's like, let's all the teams that you have to build, the 23 characters there, but then also all the Scourge team characters that you have to build. And then all in all, at the end of the day, you may not, if you grinded, you may still not be ready for Apocalypse yet, because you don't have the blue ISO 4s, on the particular characters that you desire. So I think things like that definitely were a little bit taxing on the player base, overall, as things kind of continue to go on and players are asking the questions like, man, is this all worth it in the end? But I think what really was the icing on the cake, all this is not directly tied to Horsemen. They did implement a new change last year, which was starting to do these month-long events. These month-long events, whoo, chi mama, those took the air out of a lot of people's sails, right? Because it wasn't just, here are these 10 milestones. You know, you had your blitz milestones for your, I'm forgetting what the blitz events are called, but quick rumble blitzes. There it is. Thank you. Quick rumble blitzes here. You had your 4 main milestones, and it wasn't really 4 main milestones, right? Because those 4 main milestones had like 3 additional milestones on top of that, or 2 additional milestones on top of that. So those 4 really ended up being like 12. So it really it was a lot, and you had to log in every single day and you couldn't miss a weekend. If you missed a weekend, then you weren't able to finish an event. Like look at my stuff right now. Like I am not going to be able to get this last milestone here for Destructive Diva because I had to take a weekend off because I had some stuff going on. And listen, my wife's birthday is tomorrow, so we're gonna have to take some more time off again, right? So realistically, these events just require so much time, and I think the Scourge events, all that stuff tied into the month-long events, I think is what's kind of just worn players out. And a lot of players are still enjoying gameplay, but just not enjoying the events and the things that are kind of attached to everything that's going on here. So if we're gonna do another year-long event, I'm really asking the question, like, man, can Marvel Strike Force, can the player base really, maybe I should change the question to, can Marvel Strike Force survive it? It's really, can the player base really survive this again, right? Because that's really kind of what the question is for me at this point in particular time. And that's a major concern. That's a major concern because if they're going to do it this way again, where it's going to be, you're going to have multiple teams for these Scourge events, you're going to have to build out these teams and then be able to get that, then that model to me could be taxing if they don't make any changes to other things in the game, like changing blitzes where people can finally do an all sim or just do less events that require all sim. I think the month-long events are okay. I just think that they're gotta find a way to shorten the milestones, right? Change those 4 main milestones to only 2 main milestones, so that way there's only like 2 big events for a particular month. You can still have the quick rumble blitzes, do all of that stuff, but at least shorten it so that players just aren't super burnt out. Because right now what I'm getting from players is, bro, they're burnt out. Like, especially with this most recent Kang event, players are doing 8 rotations a day, baby. Like, it's a lot for players to have to go through and do that, and it's ruining the fun of Marvel Strike Force. And I think it's also ruined the fun of what could be this really nice big prize in Apocalypse that players don't really seem to be excited about. I am not really hearing a lot of buzz right now for Apocalypse. I'm not hearing players say, you know what, Goofy, I can't wait to get Apocalypse. I'm hearing players are just like, I just can't wait to get it so I can be done with it. That's what I'm hearing right now. And if that's what I'm hearing, like, that's not good. That's not good feedback from the player base. So in my opinion, this absolutely, I don't know if the players will survive, this whole another year-long event. We knew it was coming. We knew it was going to be a thing. But I don't know if the player base is going to be able to survive this again for another year. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are. That is the end of my soliloquy here. That's the end of my massive TED Talk. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are as we go forward. I mean, is this going to be something that's the player base just is not going to be able to handle again, guys? Want to know your thoughts there. Leave it in the comments. Like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit that notification bell so that you know when the videos do go live. Also, check out our social media links that are down below, with Discord link. Also, Patreon, which is another way for you to support the channel here for just $1 a month, guys. But appreciate you guys always being here. And until next time, guys, I'll be blessed. Y'all be safe.